Hi, folks. Dr. Jim Gishwin, PhD again here. Folks, we're really getting into banana republic things. This whole thing, all these people that they have sat there and denied their constitutional rights, they've kept locked up since 6th January, and the only person killed was someone that was murdered, an unarmed Air Force reservist named Ashley Babbitt. Okay? And the FBI director refuses to sit there and tell Congress how many quote-unquote confidential informants, that's what he's calling Planet FBI people, confidential informants that were in the crowd, agitating the crowd. Of course, if you saw the whole tape that Tucker Carlson had gotten a hold of, you would see that there were people being peacefully let into the daggone building, okay? And they were just wandering around in the foyer. But this is all about the president sitting there standing up and complaining about the last election. Remember, just because a judge would not hear the evidence doesn't mean there wasn't evidence. We had hundreds of whistleblower people that came forward and signed affidavits in many states sitting there saying there was election fraud. But no one wanted to hear it. Okay? They were trying to get rid of Trump. Now, what is continuing to go on is your ability to redress government for anything that you think that the government is telling you wrong, and you complain about it, okay? You're going to get locked up. So what they are is they're criminalizing political talk. They're criminalizing political dissent of any kind against them. That's why they don't like RFK Jr. He's an anti-vaxxer. That puts him on his, caca list. I'm surprised they haven't sit there and tried to charge him and lock him up. That's the way it's going. You realize they even sat there and got all of Trump's lawyers as part of a conspiracy? Just because they denied the results of the election? Even though he said, go down and talk and let your voices be heard peacefully? Because that's their right? Your rights no longer exist. They hate you. Half of the country is declared terrorists. White nationalist terrorists. Even though we got thousands and thousands of very good black conservatives in our party. And Hispanic conservatives, mayor of Miami, who's running for president also. People, can you see what's going on? When Trump said he's standing between them and us, he meant it. This is symbolic. This is symbolic. Anyone who disagrees with their thinking, and they are the only ones allowed to contest an election, and they've done it continually. Hillary is still sitting there saying 2016 was stolen from her. Why don't they lock her up? Lock her up, lock her up. Folks, this is getting serious. If we can't sit there and trust the Justice Department that's supposed to be there protecting our rights under the Bill of Rights, what can we do? We are sinking into a mire, a quicksand. And we all have to speak out. Don't be afraid to speak out. That is your right. Exercise that right. Don't get violent. Don't let them egg you into some sort of trouble. Okay? That's the only excuse they need. So trust me, when you're in little crowds and stuff, sitting there rallying or demonstrating, which is our right, and it's something that Americans have done since the beginning. Keep that right. Keep it safe. Embrace it. Don't let them take that away from you. I'm exercising my free right now. Okay? Oh, and the latest is Devin Archer got interviewed by Tucker Carlson. He says, "Yep, this was uh, soft influence peddling. Actually, it was hard influence peddling because if you're a vice president or president, every call coming into you is screened. Every minute of your day, planned day, is planned specifically, and there's logs for it. So White House aides had to be in on it. Secret Service agents had to be in on it. And I'm asking you, when he sat there and said, call the president, when he was talking to those Ukrainians, and said he wasn't going to give them the money, and they said, you can't do that, you're not the president, he said, call him. Don't you kind of think that maybe Joe Biden was also bagman for the real big guy? Okay? And look it, he said he was going to fundamentally change America. All his people are still in there. Every single one of them. And don't forget, one of John Kerry's people was on the board of Burisma too. So, this was an incestual relationship down there. The Democrats, I tell you, they gang together and they get this stuff weirdly done. We have to fight it, baby. We have to fight it. I don't know how more to express my fear of what's coming to America. I fear civil war. If the Chinese don't take us out first, they're mobilizing. But Biden just authorized them to buy more farmland that they can lay waste to here in the United States. And Biden did that just the other day. They got spy stations in Cuba. We just closed down a daggone Chinese police shop in New York. And they say there's more of them around. We need a junkyard dog in there, folks. There's got to be some cleaning. Some deep cleaning and reorganization going on. The deep state has gone too far. Okay? And this is the deep state fighting back. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about your God-given rights. They want you to know that the rights come from them. Okay? This is Marxism on the march. And they feel it, they smell it, and they know it's so close to succeed that they ain't going to back down. In fact, they're going to double down. These are not Democrats. These are Marxists. That's what the progressives were. They used that word back in the 1920s and 30s to sit there and make Americans not fear them as much. When they escaped from Nazi Germany. And then it turned into critical theory, critical law theory, and then critical race theory. The whole thing to divide people. To divide you and me. Divide and conquer. And that's what they're doing. You know, I'm afraid to teach government to my students this coming year. What am I going to tell them about it? I can't sit there and brag about the way it is. I used to be able to brag about it. Folks, God bless you. And please pray that I remain your humble servant.